Good morning, Terrans. This is your favorite alien here on the morning of Sunday, February 20th, 2022. Oh, yeah, here in Deltona, Florida, at Spring, or how would you say, court here. Old folks' home. Well, they're getting ready to see the Daytona 500. Yeah. Seeing guys running around a little track in their little vehicles. Kind of strange, huh? Anyway, today's commentary is how to save the Terran race. I don't think any of you Terrans want to save your race. You can't save the Earth. The Earth is already doomed for extinction. That is known. Because you got watermelons for brains in there, no matter where you are on this planet. But is there 25 humans who think outside the box and want to save their Terran race? You're going to have to give up a lot and hope that what you get back in return outweighs that. And really, what you give up, you really don't all give up. There's no such thing as giving up 100%. You got to give up your pigmentation issues, your politics, your way of looking at things, your way of governing, and your religion. And I didn't mean give up your faith. We did the same thing in my civilization. In my civilization, written records go back 25,000 of your years. 25,000. That's almost 2.5 times more than what you guys have. If you go by, records that they're finding recently there, because right now you started at 3,000 BC, you said in the old days? Yeah. So that's what, 5,000? So if you take that, or even 4,000 BC, that's 5 times yours. And like I said, my ancestors were like you. They blew themselves up because of the stupid thinking that you had. And they had more advanced technology, which made them more dangerous. They destroyed their own solar system. Oh boy, how can you be so dumb? But there are civilizations out there that still do that. Yeah, and they're not humans either. There's, no matter what you are, insectoids, incorporeal, reptilian, amphibious, whatever you are, aquatic. There's a lot of civilizations out there. You even have civilizations on this planet. I mean, you got civilizations probably in Jupiter and in Venus. But you don't look at them as life because you think of carbon-based lives, humanoid-based life. And you guys are only like maybe 5% of the entire people that we have so far ran across. And that's only 2% of your galaxy. That's not very much. It takes a long time to, there's civilizations that we ran across that have gone to 20% of the galaxy. And they haven't had any more luck than we have. And they're part of our federation. So, they've explored it, haven't gone back there in millennia. So we're going to go back there again and see what they found when they explored it, if it's still the same. But getting back to you, you need to do what we did. In your case, create a new Terra. This Earth is gone. Unless they can save themselves, with the odds are maybe 2% that they can and 98% towards extinction. Well, and that's your fault for being with your watermelons for brains. 25 of our people started it, 500,000 left, and they also took another 2 million DNAs of people who wanted to go but didn't have the gumption to do it. And what we gave up, like in religion, we gave up gods, but we didn't give up faith. Is there a supreme being? Well, in our case, we've been around 25,000 of your years with historical records, that is. And we still haven't found a supreme being. We've found beings that could act as gods, but they're just like you and me with extra things that makes them different. But they're still have the same vanities, frailties of any being around, whether you're corporeal, incorporeal, or whatever you are. You still got those. We haven't found a supreme being. Is there one yet? Maybe. But in 25,000 years, we haven't found them. There's a civilization, arboreals, that makes our 25,000 look like squeak because they're 500,000 and they haven't found it. And they're still searching. So you see, you can't give up. Is there a supreme being? Maybe and maybe not, and that's the question. Is the universe eternal? Maybe, maybe not. Is it more than 13 billion years? Well, yeah. My civilizations have determined it to be 1.5 trillion years old. And that's just our number. Another civilization call it 5 trillion. But our scientists still trying to determine that. But we don't throw it out the bathwater like you do a lot of things, because there is no such thing as being absolute. You thought the earth was flat, and you consider that an absolute thing. You thought that Jesus Christ is God, and you think that's absolute. See what I mean? You can't have absolutes, because sooner or later you're going to have to change the way you think and your dogma and doctrine to accommodate the changes. You've had to do that ever since your civilization has been. You had to change it to accommodate the wheel. You had to change your religion to accommodate different changes in the world's technology and the world's way of thinking. Is Christianity the same as it was back in the first century? No. Is Islam the same as it was in the time of Muhammad? No. You guys think you are, but how many Qurans have been rewritten and how many Bibles have been rewritten with other people's expectations? See what I mean? Same with the Hindus and other religions on this planet. They're not the same as the originals. Nothing is the same. But you're always going to keep certain pieces of yourselves together when you give up stuff. And what you get in return should outweigh what you give up. You still have a piece of your Sumerians in you. You still have a piece of the Egyptians, a piece of the Greek, and a piece of the Romans. And those civilizations have long been dead. But they still live in you. And they always will live in you, as long as you're humans and as long as you're breathing in this universe. We learned that the hard way. We still have some of our ancestor civilization here. We even carry some of their what you call videos of how they used to live. And being here 50 years, I can understand it more than my cohorts in my home planet can, because to them, it's like you looking at Abraham Lincoln. You don't understand him at all. And some of them don't understand our ancestors because it's a totally way of thinking. It's the way you would look at the Hopi race there. And to give you an example about contact, and this is why you guys fail miserably, take your greatest guy that you say, oh, he's the great discoverer, Christopher Columbus, who was educated, 1492, 530 or 40 years ago, or 30 years ago, he landed in one of the islands in Bahamas. And according to his diary, which is still around in Spain, by the way, if you read his diary, he puts a note in there. And this is almost quote, so I'm going to paraphrase what he said instead of quoting it, okay? Paraphrasing what he said. we've encountered some interesting people, or beings, I think is what he called them. They don't understand weapons. We gave them a sword and they handle it with the edge, which made them cut themselves. They don't know what it is. They're unarmed. They don't understand the concept of weapons. They don't understand the concept of religion. They don't understand the concept of being. And that's according to him. If you look at the Indians that he encountered, they probably had a different concept or way of looking at the world. Different. Does that make them savages? No. Does that make them less of a being than he was? No. But what did he say? Oh, good. That'll make them good slaves. And mind you, he was Christian. Christianity was the rule of the land. I should say Roman Catholic at that time, 1492, just about ready to get split in a few decades. But at the time, Christianity was Roman capitalism. We have to convert them to capitalism and show them the true God. Really? What made you bend that idea? And what made you say slaves? Does the Bible condemn slaves? Or does the Bible promote slaves? Does Jesus Christ promote slavery? Really? Where did they come from with that? And this is in Christopher Columbus's writing, people. As an alien from another planet, I'm pointing this out because you guys don't seem to want to point it out to you guys. And then you want to go in the universe with this kind of thinking. Even slavery today is not outlawed. There's nations that use slavery, from the Asians to the Muslims, and some Americans that profit using slavery. Trafficking. It's money. And you can't deny that, United States. You got people here that make millions of dollars in slavery. See what I mean? Your way of thinking hasn't changed since 1492. It's gotten worse. I'm looking for 25 people, like my thing, that said, we have to change our way of thinking. Is it going to be easy? No. We have to change our way of pigmentation. There's only one race here. And the pigmentation should be viewed the same. Whether you look different to another person, eventually you just look human. No matter if you're black, Asian, white, yellow, red, whatever the color you are human. If you're he, she's, she, he's, or what's-its, you are human. Terran. That's what you are. You can't deny that. You can't go over that. Is the Christianity better than Muslims? Than Islam? Better than Hindus? No. Is it better than Shinto? No. Is there a supreme being? Maybe, maybe not. Is there a faith? Oh, yes. And you got to hold that as the number one, dear. Faith. Without faith, your civilization will not exist. And that makes it different than religion. Religion is a man-made thing that you created artificially to explain stuff that you can't explain. And you have to develop a doctrine. What is it to be a human culture? And that cannot be an absolute doctrine because you have to change with the times. Technology, other races you'll meet out there if you go on a space ferry. And you must find a new Terra. Because the people, if they keep on going with their way of thinking here on the Earth, they're going to be destroyed just like my home planet was. We, on the other hand, found new races. Some of them humanoids, a lot of them not. It took us decades and centuries, but we found out we have things in common. We may look different, an insectoid versus a human. There's nothing that you look at there, but if you look at the inner side of both of them, both beings have the same stupid way of looking at things. If you can understand that, and if you can say that one being is not better than another one, but they deserve to be cooperation so they can survive in the universe as living beings with the same frailties and the same ways and trying to get better so that the race gets better. In our civilization for the last 1,500 of your years, we've had a federation that's grown to 78 planets. And that's humanoids and non-humanoids. And for the last 700 of those years, it's been great. Is it going to end someday? Yes. But we hope not soon. Is there going to be people that are going to survive us? Yes, we have different colonies. Some of them are members of our federation, some of them are different, and they are their own things. Some of them are friends, allies, some of them are enemies. That's the way it goes. Some of them were enemies and they became friends. But it's up to you, Americans and humans. Is that the way you want it? You make the decision. Do you want to set up a new Terra? Because the Earth is doomed. There's no way you can change the people's perception of this Earth. But there's got to be, in the 6.5 billion people that you have on this planet, there's got to be at least a couple million of you that want to change. Really? That is up to you to decide. This is your favorite alien. Good day.